Hey everyone, unusual weekend video here, but the upcoming week is a big one, and I also wanted to share a couple of thoughts about this week. But most important, I want to do some unusual and walk you through my current short positions. Maybe my grim feeling bodes well for the Bears next week because at the end of last week I felt dynamite, and I thought this was going to be a real breakthrough week for the Bears, and it was quite the opposite. It was a real breakthrough week for the Bulls instead. This shows the past couple of trading weeks, and for a few days we had this wonderful kind of waterfall down. Friday was just dynamite, and let's see, we opened on Sunday afternoon trading, and it continued down. And so this whole thing was about the whole, oh my God, Greece is going to default, and the euro is going to be dead, and all hell will break loose. Well, the entire week was spent by every central banker on the planet saying everything's going to be just great. So even something as boring as the S&P 500 went up 8% just on the week. I mean, it was relentless sawtooth up, right up through the close on Friday. I decided earlier in the week that there's no way in hell I'm going to let the Bulls take my profit away for this quarter, so I really scaled back heavily. And as you know from my rules, fear often means that things are about to go our way, and boy, that could be a good sign because I am just petrified of Wednesday. Even Zero Hedge, which makes me look like a bull, even Zero Hedge is ringing the bell about Bernanke's going to amaze the market on Wednesday with this announcement. Who knows what he'll announce? Like every citizen in the U.S. gets $100,000 to buy any stock they want. I don't know. God knows. You can't trust the man. I have no idea what he's going to do. I may be flat. I may have a handful of token positions. I'm not sure. What I'm definitely not going to be, I assure you, is heavily invested in either direction. That I can guarantee. No frigging way. I might wait a full day or two before kind of getting back in the water again. Having said all that, I do have for me, small number of positions. They're all short, and they're worth going through. This isn't something I normally do, as I said, but let's just go through these to show you that even in this environment, positions that I feel have a good risk-reward ratio on the short side. And I'm going to reveal these guys. I'll sneak the name and symbol down here, and I'll thumb through these. On the whole, you'll find the theme is very similar in that each of these has tipped their hand with respect to showing their ability to fall and have retraced to a point that I feel it's safe again to short them. In other words, the amount they would need to climb to be stopped out isn't substantial. That's in sharp contrast to, say, Bank of America. I mean, this is what they haven't traded hardly ever. But symbol BAC, my God, this is loading slowly, it's a crappy looking chart, but there's no way I would short it because, I mean, this doesn't get really interesting to short until about 11 again. There's no way I would short something like this. I mean, yeah, it could keep going down, but the risk reward is just really not worth it at all. But forget that. Let's look at what I really do have. We're starting with ADI. Some of these I'll make a remark on, some we'll just kind of go through because the chart kind of speaks for itself. AGCO, very nice broken channel there and a retracement to the channel. AWI, variety of good breaks there in that one. Oh, and for goodness sake, click on some ads. I'm giving you the best of my ideas here, so for Pete's sake, get mine. It's worth a few calories of your finger, don't you think? BCE, a little more speculative. This has still been a strong stock, but it's still on the underside of this very long trend. I've had patterns like this recently that have basically made a obscene gesture and kept going higher. Like, for example, this I'm not short, by the way, but let me just bring up Ralph Lauren, RL. This is a stock which had broken a long-term trend line, but it's just so strong, it's actually above it again. So the trend line right now is kind of just noise. I'll probably remove it before long because it just doesn't really mean anything anymore. But that's an example that a stock can muster its way back above its trend line. Here's BCE. Don't feel as strongly about that one. It's not bad. Here's Ben, Franklin Resources. The example of a stop on this would be, for instance, this line here, 121.35. So my stop's just a penny above that. If it crept above that even by a penny, I would be out of the position. My hope, of course, is that if the market begins to weaken in general, this could get extremely weak and get down into the double digits very, very swiftly. BID, Sotheby's. I've actually been stopped out of this a couple times this week already, and I've re-entered. I've just held bound and determined to make money on this short. Pretty good candlestick on this today, but this is just a very pretty short pattern. BMS, yeah, not as pretty as the others. Cracker Barrel, this is another one that I feel pretty strongly about. It's a dynamite pattern, but it's just not giving way yet. If it does, that is a big pattern. That could see a just outright collapse if it really starts moving. Not as nice here, but pretty good. CE. Here's Chico's, CHS. Number of things broke a trend line, failed to get up above its bullish breakout, just kind of rolled right over. And a pretty nice stop level here too. So a number of good things going for that one. CLI. Here's CLP. Again, this isn't a beating the Bible kind of great short here. This is pretty good. It's shown its ability to drop hard, and we've got a nice clean stop level here, and it's also involved in real estate, which I think has the potential to get weak. So not a bad one there. CMP, good day today, even on a day like this, it's down 1.31%. It's Compass Minerals, so that's a bullish failure. Now this one I'd been stopped at before because this line right here had been moved several times. I mean, it first started here, then I had to move it here, and now I've moved it way up here. It's going higher above what used to be a pretty good head and shoulders pattern. It keeps kind of creeping higher. If I get stopped at again, I've had it with Dix. Here's EQR. ESV, pretty clean here. Nice domey top beneath this trend line, beneath this horizontal line. Pretty good pattern there. FINL, this thing has gone up thousands of percent and is starting to really show its age here, show some weakness. I like that. FNSR, bit of a messier pattern here, but one very, very vulnerable. I say again, very vulnerable to drop. I mean, in a weak market, this could fall 50% in a week or two. This is an extremely vulnerable chart, I believe. FO, Fortune Brands. Old favorite Fossil here, the former high flyer, had lost about half its value in about 10 trading days. Sort of mustered its way back up. I've got a kind of peculiar stop set on this one, 107.55 on this. Galing, GLNG. I think they have something to do with solar. I don't know. Well, no, natural gas, I guess. That's what the LNG must mean. You can see how much I know about these companies. Pretty weak day on that one, too. Here's GMT. Another broken trend line there. HIG, somewhat more speculative because this one, since it's in the financial space, this is more prone to continuing to lift higher. So I do have a stop set at this gap here. 19.80 would be my stop on that one. HP, not to be confused with Hewlett Packard. This is Hemmerich and Payne, whatever that is. HRS, good retracement there. INCY, we're beneath that support and resistance line there. Kind of a complex one here, and one that's a little shaky, kind of threatening to get stopped out of Intuit, INTU. In fact, I'm going to get rid of this line because it's already busted above that one. So this had been a very nice head and shoulders. It has pushed quite high, so I've changed the neckline to a rather tilted one here. So again, getting above 49.86 on this, I would be out of there. So I'm not quite as confident on that one. IP. This is the one ETF I have, IYR. This is the real estate index fund. Is Jabeel Circuit, JBL. Let me back up to JBL. This one I like because once again we had really a fantastic bullish breakout and it just rolled right over, and now it's beneath what I think is a very important support resistance level there. This one's a very handsome pattern. Leg LEG, I've mentioned this before. I actually did a post I think specifically on this with ZZ Top legs on there. MCHP, MCK. Again, these are really the best of the best. Out of about 270 possibilities, these are the 43 that I actually chose. This one, in spite of how far it's fallen, I'm short MIPS right now based on this gap fill. It was a perfect gap fill today, actually. And today's when I shorted it, that is Friday. This stock's gone from 18.5 down to like 4. And it has recouped somewhat. It's gained about 50% the past few weeks. I think it is prone to resuming that course. MTD, not quite as strong. Feel strong about this one, but it's not bad. NATI, had a nice day on this one. PPS, this is kind of a favorite. This is a real high flyer, and the stop on it said on this one would be this high on this bar, so 43.31 would be my stop on PPS. RCII, Rent-A-Center, kind of a gap fill play right there. RES, a bit of a mess of a pattern, but one of my better performers today. RSG, again, rather messy pattern. This one, I don't think I've got the stop set as high as this gap fill. I'm probably more conservative. I think I've got it set even to Thursday's bar, just because I'm so skittish about this market. Scott's Miracle-Gro, and finally UDR, which on the one hand has recovered quite a lot and there's no particular bearish pattern to this, but what I do like is that when we did get weak, it got weak really in a hurry, losing like 25% of its value within just a couple of weeks. I think that tells us something. So anyway, it's all about the euro at this point. The point I'd made earlier in the week about the retracement to this level and the plunge, and perhaps repeating that here. I hope so, because that would really make things a lot easier for the bears. But that's it for me. Those are my shorts, and I will let them get stopped out if need be. I doubt I'll be adding much of anything, and I'm probably going to let a good chunk of the week go by without much activity on my part before I get serious again. We've got to get those darling FOMC people out of the way in terms of their announcement, because otherwise it's actually kind of a quiet week. So anyway, that is it for Saturday. This will be up all day, so go mow the lawn. See you later. Bye.